Have you ever heard of ice boxes instead of refrigerators? Or cigarette vending machines in public places? How about rotary phones, ration books, and milk deliveries straight to your door? In this video, we talk about 10 everyday items that were once essential in the 1940s. Number 1, we have rotary phones. Rotary phones, also known as rotary dial phones, were a type of telephone that used a circular dial to enter phone numbers. They were widely used from the 1920s to the 1980s. The user would place their finger in the number hole corresponding to the first digit of the phone number. They would then rotate the dial clockwise until it stopped, which would register the digit. The user would release the dial, returning to its original position. This process would be repeated for each digit of the phone number. Today, rotary phones have primarily been replaced by cell phones. Rotary phones have become nostalgic icons of the past, often featured in movies, TV shows, and retro-themed decor. Let's discuss a crucial aspect of American life during World War II. Ration books. Ration books were booklets issued by governments during times of war, economic crisis, or scarcity of essential goods. These cards were used to regulate the distribution of food, fuel, and other basic commodities. In the United States, ration books were used during World War II, which began in 1942 and ended in 1945. To ensure that everyone had access to necessities like food, sugar, rubber, and gasoline. The Office of Price Administration, OPA, administered the rationing system. Citizens registered for ration books, which were issued based on family size, age, and occupation. Each ration book contained a set of stamps or coupons that could be used to purchase specific items like sugar, meat, or gasoline. Some items, like meat and dairy products, were assigned a point value. Consumers could use their ration stamps to purchase items up to their allocated point value, and retailers were required to check ration books and stamps before selling rationed items. For example, if you wanted to buy a pound of sugar, you would need to use a sugar stamp from your ration book. The storekeeper would then take the stamp and give you the sugar. Ration books help to conserve resources by limiting the amount of certain goods available. It also helped to ensure fair distribution and promote patriotism. In the 1940s, people could smoke anywhere, even on airplanes. Cigarette vending machines were automated machines that dispensed cigarettes and other tobacco products. They were widely used in the 40s. Users would insert coins into the machine, select the desired brand and type of cigarette, and the machine would dispense a pack of cigarettes through a chute. Cigarette vending machines were commonly found in public places like bars, hotels, restaurants, offices, bus stations, and airports. These machines were convenient for consumers, but they also contributed to the widespread availability and accessibility of tobacco products, particularly among youth. In the late 20th century, there were concerns about youth access to tobacco and the health risks associated with smoking. This led to increased regulation and eventual bans on cigarette vending machines in many countries. Today, cigarette vending machines are essentially a relic of the past, replaced by stricter tobacco control laws and alternative nicotine delivery systems. Next on the list, we have a household item that served the purpose of a refrigerator back in the day. Before the widespread use of electric refrigerators, ice boxes, ice chests, or cold closets were early refrigeration units used to keep food and drinks cool. These were delivered to the household by an iceman. The ice was placed in the icebox, essentially a wooden or metal box lined with tin or zinc. The icebox had a compartment for the ice and a separate compartment for storing food and drinks. Iceboxes were an essential part of older homes. They helped families keep food like meat, milk, and fruit from getting spoiled, because as the ice melted, cold air circulated the food, keeping it cool. They significantly improved over older food storage methods like root cellars and spring houses. This significantly contributed to improving the population's health by increasing the readily made fresh food to be consumed and the overall safety of that food. The advent of electric refrigerators in the early 20th century gradually replaced ice boxes, offering a more convenient, efficient, and hygienic way to keep food and drinks cool. Today, ice boxes are primarily found in museums, antique shops, or as nostalgic decorative pieces. Another interesting thing about the 40s are coal furnaces. During the 1940s, coal furnaces were the primary heat source for many homes. They were reliable and efficient and provided a warm and cozy home for families. Coal furnaces burned coal to produce heat, which was then distributed throughout the home through a system of ducts and vents. The coal was typically delivered to the house by a coalman, often using a horse-drawn wagon or truck. They would unload the coal into the customer's bin or storage area. It was not easy to maintain the coal furnace. It required regular coal shoveling, ash removal, and adjustments to the airflow. It was a daily task that needed attention and care. Coal furnaces had a significant impact on daily life during the 1940s. They provided warmth and comfort to families and were often the center of the home. People would gather around the furnace to warm up, share stories, and enjoy each other's company. The coal furnace also played a crucial role in household chores like laundry and cleaning. The heat from the stove was used to warm water, dry clothes, and provide a comfortable working environment. Now, let's talk about one of the old means of communication in the 40s, party line telephones. Party line telephones were a telephone service standard in rural areas of the United States and other countries from the early 20th century to the mid-20th century. A party line was a shared telephone line that connected multiple households or subscribers. When a person picked up the phone to make a call, they could hear the conversations of others on the same party line. This meant multiple families or individuals shared the same phone line, and anyone could pick up the phone and listen in on someone else's conversation. Party lines were often used in rural areas where installing individual phone lines was prohibitively expensive. They were also used in urban areas, particularly in apartment buildings, where multiple tenants shared a single phone line. However, each household on the party line had a unique ringing code, such as one long ring followed by two short rings, to indicate which household was being called. Subscribers were expected to follow courtesy rules, such as not picking up the phone during someone else's conversation and not listening in on someone else's call. Party line telephones were phased out in the mid-20th century as individual phone lines became more affordable and widely available. This next one was everywhere in the 70s. Slide rule. Before the advent of the calculator, computer, or smartphone, people relied on the slide rule. A slide rule is a mechanical calculation device, particularly multiplication, division, and trigonometry. It consists of logarithmic scales that slide against each other to perform calculations. A slide rule typically consists of a rectangular frame with a movable slide and several logarithmic scales. The user would align the scales to perform calculations, using the principles of logarithms to multiply and divide numbers. It was an essential tool for engineers, architects, scientists, and mathematicians before the advent of electronic calculators and computers. Slide rule allowed people to perform complex calculations quickly and accurately, essential for many fields, including space exploration, nuclear physics, and computer science. They also helped in developing many modern technologies, including computers, rockets, and medical devices. However, the slide rule became largely obsolete with the advent of electronic calculators and computers. Today, slide rules are mostly collector's items or nostalgic reminders of a bygone era. Nobody who lived in the 40s can ever forget the joy of getting fresh milk delivered daily at their doorstep. Back in the day, before refrigeration became popular, almost every home had a milk door. They were a common feature in the 18th, 19th, and particularly in the early 20th century. Small doors near the kitchen or pantry allowed milkmen to deliver fresh milk in glass bottles without entering the home. The houses were built with integrated milk delivery doors. These were two doors, one on the outside and the other on the inside. The milkman would put the milk in the cubby from outside, and those inside could get the milk from inside without leaving the house. The milkman would also pick up empty bottles from there. Some milk chutes even had a small bell or other signaling device to alert the homeowner that the milk had been delivered. Milk chutes were particularly common in the 1940s, but have largely fallen out of use with the rise of supermarkets and modern dairy delivery systems. However, some homes retain their original milk chutes as a nostalgic reminder of a bygone era. Number 9, we have picture rails. Instead of drilling holes in the wall to hang your pictures, picture rail was an alternative homeowners used that won't damage the wall. A picture rail is typically made of wood, plaster, or metal. It is usually located about 3 to 4 feet below the ceiling and used for hanging pictures and other decorative items without damaging the walls. They also allowed you to move your photographs or artwork quickly. A movable hook could be placed anywhere along a rail and a picture would hang below. The hook lets you quickly move the images to the right or left. However, the brass picture rail is an excellent alternative if you do not have a wooden rail. With the advent of modern hanging systems and drywall anchors, picture rails have largely fallen out of favor, and many homes no longer have them. However, they remain a charming and nostalgic reminder of a bygone era, and many homeowners and decorators still appreciate their aesthetic appeal. Number 10 on our list is the manual lawnmower. Manual lawnmowers have existed since the 19th century. However, during the 1940s, they became a staple in many American households. These mowers were simple yet effective. They used a rotating blade to cut the grass and were powered by the user's muscle power. The blade was typically made of steel or iron and was designed to be sharp enough to cut the grass cleanly. The mower also had an adjustable cutting height, allowing users to customize the length of their grass. Manual lawnmowers have several benefits. They were environmentally friendly, producing no emissions or noise pollution. They were also cost-effective, requiring no fuel or electricity to operate. However, manual lawnmowers also had some drawbacks. They required physical effort to operate, which could be tiring and time-consuming. They also struggled with thick or tall grass and could be difficult to maneuver on uneven terrain. Which of these vintage home features is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more nostalgic videos like this.